Well, hey, you don't know me, but my name's Michael Deal, okay? And I brought this tape with me. I thought you might like to see some of my true-to-life experiences. I mean, this stuff really happened to me, huh? What do you say? 'Cause it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Someone's got to clean this place up. Okay. So this is the part where I bring you into my home and make you feel welcome, okay? Just pause a minute, wait there. You're not going anywhere while I take off my coat. And my scarf. Because I want to show you something that really happened to me this summer. I mean, this really happened, okay? I'm not lying to you. I know you say you don't know me, you're not going to trust me. Well, everyone says that, but eventually you got to trust somebody or you die or something. Something bad happens. I'm just going to pop this in the goddamn Betamax right now, and away we go. There we go. Okay. And we're going to push play. And I just hope there's no pornography on this, if you know what I'm saying. I mean, some of the Tinder people might want to avert their eyes. It's a brisk night in the big city. I didn't want to be in the big city, but sometimes you got to be in the big city. Stepped off the bus, had to get back to the suburbs, get back to my small town, 2-bit little newspaper reporter job. You know, when I went in and asked the guy, though, he told me the next bus didn't leave till 9 a.m. the next morning. Then he coughed. What was I gonna do for the next 6 hours? I was sitting in there, in that little bus station, in the middle of the big city, in the middle of a big country, in the middle of a big world, and I was feeling about as big as a little bug crushed into a 10-foot shoe. I looked around, trying to find something to do. But all those magazines they have in the bus station, they're all the same. Car and Driver, Road and Track, Guns and Ammo, Better Homes and Gardens, maybe a few coloring books. Well, no, none of them had much to say to me. Even if I did find something worth reading, that didn't take my mind off the fact that I'd just left the best girl behind. I'd just left behind the best thing that ever happened to me. Well, maybe the second best. She was the greatest. I guess you don't know what you got till it's gone. And then where are you? In the middle of a bus station on Sunday night. What was I gonna do for the next 8 hours? It was so hot in there, too. In that bus station, it was hotter than a fin bath in the middle of July. I felt closer to the sun than I've ever felt before in my life. So I thought I'd cool down with a little cigarette. I've been doing a lot of smoking since I left her. The Surgeon General says that a cigarette takes, 8 minutes off your life? I'd left her maybe 2-3 hours ago. Well, you figure it out. The fact is that I had a lot to burn out of my mind. I guess it's just one oral fixation to another, you know what I'm saying? And there's that guy sitting there, man, like all those bus station guys just sit there and they look at you, just waiting for you to screw up. Of course I did, and he laughed, and I laughed, you know. I didn't think it was too funny at the time, and I still don't. I hate people like that. So I just sat back with my cigarette and started thinking about the bad, bad shape my heart was in. My heart was like a big fist of melancholy sadness, sorrow, and pity. Then I checked my hair in the mirror. Never does stand up right. You know, sometimes you're sitting there and you feel like the whole world's watching you. Sometimes they are. But I guess I was just sitting there thinking about work. I was gonna be late again tomorrow. I've been late 5 of the last 6 days. I don't think my boss is gonna be too pleased about that. And besides, it's not like he thought I was the best reporter in the world either. I was no Woodward and Bernstein, and we both knew it. I don't know what I was gonna do to pass the time. Seemed like I'd sat in every seat in the place. Figured I'd go watch some TV. Maybe that'd take my mind off her. But what's on TV late Sunday night, early Monday morning? I don't know. Just talk shows and game shows and ridiculous programs. Maybe a 59-cent Chicken McNuggets commercial. Other than that, not much at all. I started watching Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom by Sher Sominex. And sure enough, I fell into a weary, dreamy, sleepy sleep, somewhere between fantasy and reality. Dreamt about my girl. Oh, her beauty, her joy, the mirth that she brought to my heart. She was my walking, talking reason to live. Oh, God. I played piano, I sang her songs, I did all those things that lovers do. For together we were like a dynamic duo of love. We were one and the same, we fit like hand and glove. And she was mine and I was hers. And there was nothing no one could say about that. That's my girl. We'd spent the weekend up in a cottage in New Hampshire. A weekend of love. I went all out. I tried to show her that I was reliable, that I could take care of her despite what my boss might say. I got her the finest logs for the fire, and we drank the finest wine, but I didn't need wine. I was drunk. I was intoxicated with her love. How could I forget? I didn't have much money, but I spent a bundle, buying her her very own string of pearls. She checked them, because she's that kind of girl. Oh yes, I think she really liked them. But I never could figure out those clasp things. The best thing about her, she kept me honest. That's why I love her. Oh, to be with her again, to have my head in her lap once again, just to be back in the arms of an angel. Suddenly I was rudely wakened by this guy with some kind of weird British Dutch accent. Anyway, he started giving me this long, involved rigmarole of a story about how he had, been on the other side of town and, lost something like $200 on some scam or something like that. I don't know. I mean, I kind of believed him. He just kept looking at me, though. And I'd look back at him. And that went on for a while. I don't know. I guess I felt kind of sorry for him. But at the same time, I knew that, you can't trust everybody out there. My mom, she always told me that, you should help someone in need, but at the same time, you shouldn't, get a ride home with strangers. And I figured this guy was definitely stranger than he was needy, so I decided to hightail it out of there. But wouldn't you know it, this being the big city, he followed me, and he kept following me, and, eventually he caught up with me. And he talked to me, and he seemed like a nice enough guy, and I did kind of believe him, and he was in a tough spot. I mean, he looked about as scared as a bunny rabbit on the opening day of rabbit kill season. So I said, hey, I'm going to go over to Mickey's and get a cup of coffee. And he said, can I join you? And I said, sure. And when he opened the door, I figured he was gonna pay. I walked in and looked for a table. Couldn't find one, but he spotted one right away. That's the kind of guy he was. He started to calm down and explained his situation. He was new in town, just in from South Africa, and I was his first and only friend in the new world. I said, hell, I'm new here too. Not like you got a monopoly on this new town situation. But he explained that he just needed some help. He needed a friend, he needed a buddy in these hard times. I said, I'd love to help you, but, I don't know much my way around here either. I started getting bored, but, then he took out some pictures of his family, showed me his lovely wife and 2 cute little daughters. He said he missed them a lot. I could really relate to that. I guess it was like we were just 2 innocent goldfish sloshing around in this septic tank of life. I started to really like the guy. Then he started talking about how he got ripped off again. He lost $200 back on the east side. Fortunately, he said he still had $10,000, his life savings. He needed some help. And he said that, I looked like a trustworthy sort. I thought that was pretty funny. My boss wouldn't trust me with the petty cash to go down to Winchell's and get up a couple donuts. So we kind of hit it off and let him finish up the last fry. And I said, yeah, I'll help you find a hotel. What else am I going to do for the next 12 hours? So me and my new buddy, we hit the streets. After walking 4 or 5, maybe 20 blocks, we came across this place called the Normandy. It looked okay. And there she was. Oh, she was hot. My buddy, he started to look pensive. Looked around, checked out the place. Started to take his money out. Looked like he was gonna stay. I got really confused, but then, what else is new? So she comes up to him and starts to come on to him, Starts to ask him if he wants to go upstairs for a date. He didn't catch on at first, but then he got real embarrassed. Said he was a family man. As soon as she saw she was going to get nowhere with him, she was on to me like a vulture on an I-5 roadkill. But I'd have no part of that. I had a girlfriend. Besides, I only had $10. She treated me like a little boy. But I didn't care. So my buddy goes back talking about the money, and she's back like a fly to honey. My buddy tells her, well, he's got his life savings in the bag. 10 grand. She's like, $10,000? What are you doing walking around with money like that in the big city? Are you guys crazy? She's like, she better keep quiet about it. We try to explain it to her, and my buddy tries to show her what's in the bag, and she's like, don't do that. Don't show the money here. Something was going on between those two. My buddy started getting real scared. She was saying, people on these streets, they're gonna kill you for that kind of money. Don't you get it? It's dangerous. You gotta get out of here. He said, where? She said, I don't know. Someplace safe. And just in case anybody knows you got that, you better give it to your little friend to carry. I guess you're right, he said. And he turns to me and he's like, please, you gotta help me. You gotta take this back to the station. I mean, I'll be right behind you. And I'm thinking, I don't know, man. I don't know. He's like, please, you're my only friend in the new world, man. You're my only buddy. And I was like, I'd love to help you, man, but, well, I don't know. I mean, you know, he is in a bind, and I should help the guy out. He's in trouble, right? I mean, what would you do? And then he said, how do I know you're not going to rip me off? And I was like, I don't know. Well, here, I'll carry your bag. You take my wallet. As insurance, you know? He took it, he looked inside, and he's like, $10? What the hell? I trust you. And I'm left standing there thinking, how did I ever get involved? But, you know, my bus didn't leave till morning. What else was I gonna do for the next 14 hours? So we walked back to the bus depot. Me taking point, my buddy covering the rear. I don't know, I guess having him behind me, you know, made me feel a little secure. I guess that lady back at the hotel was right. They must have nabbed him or something. I figured the best thing I could do was get that money back safely to the bus station. So I just sat there and waited for him. 45 minutes, an hour and 50 minutes. I don't know, man. Time just ticked by. So I decided to go in the bathroom and try to make some sense of the confused, tangled, and warped events of the day. I was so worn out, man. Finally, I decided it was about time I went in the stall and checked out what was in that bag. What a fool. Well, that's it. And it's all true. Boy, did I feel like a fool. You know, I guess you can't trust everybody all the time, or some of the time, or something like that. I mean, I'm sure there's a moral in here somewhere. If you guys want to stick around and try to figure it out, be my guest, but I gotta go. New world for this guy to conquer. Yeah, well, you know, have a nice day, and until next time, have a good time. All the time.